difficult terrain ahead.
With Mount Nemo now behind us, one of these little ham cans.
Good morning, everybody. Well, welcome to day 8 of our northbound through hike attempt of the Bruce Trail. I'm coming to you a little earlier this morning, only because, oh, there's our blaze. This morning, we are in full rain gear. And I'm going to talk to you more today about rain gear when we do our little gear talk, which we haven't done for a couple of days, but we'll do one today. So yeah, it's 5:15. We're going to start entering into the park area and crossing the Rattlesnake Point, heading towards Kelso, and ultimately this afternoon we'll be leaving the Iroquois section, entering the Toronto section of the Bruce Trail. So I just wanted to wish you a wonderful morning. I've had my oatmeal, I've had my coffee, had my Kit Kat bar. Today, well, weather's always an issue and that can really mess things up, but I'm still positive on a minimum, if I can. Well, as you know, my minimum is 20 kilometers in any given day. If I can do 25 minimum today, that will set me up okay for tomorrow, for my arrival at the Cedar Springs Motel and my resupply. And anything above that, well, makes it that much easier for tomorrow. Okay, having said all that, because I know you can't see much really, I can a little better because I got my headlight on, but it says no horses, it says no motorbikes, no ATVs. Well, we don't have any of those things, although motorbike would be nice. Yeah, I rode motorcycles for a lot of years, but as I got older, I just realized that, wow, that's light tricky, dangerous. Why don't we just get to hiking this morning, and I'll give you a proper good morning greeting a little bit later when it gets lighter. So let's just get to it, shall we? Well, second good morning, everybody. A little bit lighter now. So as of yet, the rain, well, it looks gray up there, but we had rain just as I was making my breakfast at 4:30 this morning. It started spitting rain, and a little bit more came, and so I kind of went into a rain hiking mode, which I'm still in. Still got all my rain gear on. But speaking of rain gear, something that is always an issue or a problem for people is, well, when I say people, one thing I want you to keep in mind about my comments and what I think, or advice if you will, although it's not really advice, is what works for me, is I think about the long haul. I think about hiking day after day, week after week, month after month. So I think about gear that's not just going to get me out for 2 or 3 hours on some Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning or whatever. I think about gear that's going to get the job done. With that in mind, I'll talk about rain gear next. That will be our gear talk for today. Another thing, I hope the audio and the visual is okay. Sometimes when I have you mounted in my chest strap, it isn't. But we're going to hope that it is today. So rain gear. So I've used different rain gear from different companies, and one thing I have found out over the years, regardless of what you're using, unless of course you're using something like the fisherman's slickers, you know, which those bright orange or bright yellow thick kind of plastic rubberized waterproofs, which weigh like a ton. You couldn't hike for a period of time in them. Oh, look. Sky's quite pleasant over on that side. Well, on this side, where we're going, it's much grayer. But anyhow, so notwithstanding that, I'm talking about rain gear that's acceptable and suitable for hiking. So I layer my rain gear. I've learned to do that because regardless of what you're wearing, eventually they will wet through. Water will pass, be it Z-Pack, be it Arc'teryx, be it Outdoor Research, whoever. Eventually, water will pass through. Everything that says waterproof is waterproof to a certain precipitation amount, if you will, over a given period of time. And they might give you something like millimeters or whatever of rain over a 24-hour period, and this jacket should keep you generally dry. However, for instance, in my training from Mountain Warehouse, I always in my pack have a red, inexpensive, it's just called ISO Dry, rain jacket. And that's rated for about a medium rainfall. Now I've used that and it actually works pretty damn good. It has wet through on monsoon heavy summertime kind of thunderstorm rains. But generally speaking, it works pretty good. And that was like when I bought it, 24 bucks. I think today it's like 34 bucks or something. For something more serious on a long haul like we're doing now, what I'm wearing right now is a lead system of rain gear on my torso. And that consists of an Outdoor Research Helium 2 waterproof shell. Is the layer that goes over a t-shirt in this case. Depending on temperature, you could have it over a sweater, whatever, or a hoodie, whatever it might be. But that is the first layer of protection on the inner side. So if that wets through, I could get into trouble, especially if it gets cold. The outer layer, I am wearing a Frog's Togs, and I like Frog Togs because they're inexpensive and they're lightweight, and they actually work very well. But you can get the ultralight, and that's the one that people talk about tearing quite easily, and it does. And the pants ripping around the crotch area, and they do almost immediately. But I don't use the Frog Tog pants, generally speaking. I'm talking about the tops, the torso. And I use their Pro Light. Their Pro Light is slightly, only slightly heavier than the ultralight. So the jacket itself might weigh 2 ounces more. But if the material is the same, the water protection is probably the same, but it's just thicker. More protection against the snags and stuff. So that is my 2 layers that I'm using on this hike, and a lot of hikes, to be honest with you, of rain protection. And on a sprinkle on a hot day, you can wear 1. A downpour on a cold day, you wear 2 layers. Like today now, I'm in a climb and I'm overheating. So I am going to readjust my rain gear because the rain did not materialize as of yet. Thought it was going to, looked like it could have, but of course at 4:30 it's totally dark outside. You can only go by what you're feeling, which was rain. So the key to my, regardless of what you use, the key to my or the point to my rainwear kind of information, or what I use today or on most through hikes, is a 2-layer system, a light shell that's rainproof from a reputable good company. I've used Z-Packs and that was okay, although I found with the Z-Packs, very expensive at 600 and some Canadian dollars delivered, but they didn't hold up. The seam sealing, that started breaking down very quickly. So I went back to my Outdoor Research Helium 2, which I bought on like a half price or something sale for a ridiculous amount of money. And it's a very highly rated $250 US rain jacket. But now you can buy them much cheaper. So the key again is to layer your rain gear. Don't rely on one rain jacket. Rely on two. You've got two layers. If you're out here, if you get cold on a night in your bunk, put on a rain jacket. It'll keep you warm. During the day, you're in a high bug area. You can use just a lightweight rain shell. Keep the bugs off you. So versatile, so handy. And yet, in a heavy torrential downpour, great protection when you're double layering. Well, speaking of great protection, double layering, looks like I gotta climb over these rocks here. Okay. Woo! Woo! Okay, here we go. And we're off. Oh, I will give you a tip. An Irish lady called Brady. She was at the nursing home in Stayner, Ontario, special care, where my mum was. My mum had dementia. A lot of dementia. But she always knew who I was. Hell, let's face it. If you have me as a son, how the heck could you forget, dementia or not? Anyhow, Brady, the Irish lady, said to me, always used to say to me, don't ever get old. And I used to say to her, well, be's the alternative. And she said, no, don't ever get old. I know what she means, because right now, on what isn't an actual difficult section, it's tricky for me because of my injuries in my knees, my arthritis in my hip and my lower left back. Makes it excruciatingly painful just trying to climb little climbs like that. And of course, makes me much, much slower than I used to be. So in the words of Brady, don't ever get old. Okay, that's it, that's all. The trail, really quite pleasant. We've done 5 kilometers of rocks and really challenging trail this morning. Right now, as we enter into the Rattlesnake, let's call it park or whatever, nice entryway. It's going to get much more challenging. So the rain, I took off all my rain gear probably an hour ago. Nothing materialized. I sat here on some logs. Let me show you. They're doing some logging through here, I guess. So this makes a perfect little seating place for me. But it is raining again now, just starting. So, I'm not sure. I just thought I'd wait a couple of minutes here, see if I'm gonna put rain gear on or not. Oh, excuse me. My allergies were bad last night. I'm having a Lara bar, and I'm gonna have some electrolyte water. So we're about 5.6 kilometers in so far for day 8. So far we're doing just fine. What time is it? 7:08. Okay. So far so good. We'll keep you updated if anything exciting happens. Okay. As we make our way, again, rain-free so far, through the Rattlesnake, we're treated to our first view of the morning. Isn't that beautiful? Sky's gray. Pending rain, but not too much. What have we got here? The Nasagawaya Canyon. Nasagawaya. Wow. Lots of turkey vultures. Seen lots in trees. Lots flying. Okay. Okay. Oh, what's this? The First Nations perspective.
The Niagara Escarpment is the traditional territory of many First Nations and the Métis. It is rich in history and modern traditions. Wow. Okay. Okay. Well, let's get back to hiking. Just ahead of me, a road. I believe that's the Appleby Line or Appleby Road. We are leaving the Rattlesnake Point Park. Done and dusted. It's in the rearview mirror. We push on now towards Kelo, our next goal of the day. Kelo Park. There's a pavilion there. I've camped there. They have electricity on posts that I could plug into if I chose to. They have spigot water there. It's actually a great place to camp. Although, if I did that today, it would give me almost 30 kilometers to do tomorrow to get to the motel. If I wanted to do that tomorrow, which I do. So, I will probably, depending on the weather, which is beautiful sunshine and blue sky right now, but rain, thunderstorms, still very, very much alive and well. Anyhow, let's just see how the day progresses. We'll just keep moving forward. Kelo trails. Golly, they got lots and lots and lots and lots of trails. Pretty serious mountain biking through here. Wow. Okay. Okay. Let's get to it. A garbage can. So I am going to dump, because I have it ready to go, my trash. Pack in, pack out. Here we go. Garbage dumped. Until the next time. Okay. Leave no trace. Except some flat grass here and there. Okay. As the rain just starts to steadily fall just a little bit, we get our first view from the Kelo area. You can see what I believe is the Ford plant maybe over there. The busy highway of the 401. We're going to cross that later today, all being well. And when we do, when we pass underneath it, we will then enter into the Toronto section. But right now, the rain is threatening to come down hard. It's getting grayer and grayer. And thunderstorms to pass through forecast. So let's just see what happens. There is a pavilion and another, about 4.5 or so kilometers at the Kelo Welcome Center. You know what? If we had to, that's where we'd end up staying for the night if the weather was so bad. Look at that little guy, little chipmunk. He's just going all over the place. Anyhow, let's just keep pushing on. The beautiful rock trail. A little bit reminiscent, if you will, of what we may expect in certain areas as we get north into the peninsula section. Yeah, more areas like this. Look at the view over there. Wow, the cliffs behind me. Stunning, absolutely stunning. Let's just take a little photograph with my phone for our Facebook page. Let's take a little photograph of those cliffs. Oh yeah, they're nice, just like that. Perfect. We got a picture, we'll just give it a quick tweet. just by, if it loads, come on, load. There we go. We'll just give it a little tweak there of light. Done and finished. We'll upload that at the end of the day with our progress report to our Bruce Trail page. And the rain is coming and the wind is coming. I put my rain pack on again, on my rain cover on my pack, but I think I'm gonna have to put my rain pants and probably my Frog Togs jacket on. I think that would be prudent, to be honest with you. Keep everything underneath it dry. Okay. Let's just keep heading on. Crossing the railroad track that's going to take me to the pavilion at Kelo Park. Take a look. Now, be advised, I've noticed a few of these boards are starting to look old. That means that they will redo this and it will be closed for a day or two when they do. There is another passage, which is a road further up, that's always open. Okay, let's go down. Ahead of me is the pavilion where I'm going to take a break, make myself a coffee, and just take a break. So unfortunately, the spigot was turned off. I don't know why. Maybe it's broken, the line broke, I don't know. There's no water. So there is water in the washrooms, which are right there, but, oh, excuse me, allergies. I noticed the last time I was there, that water was skanky. Ooh. And you know what? It's no big deal, because shortly after I enter into the Toronto section, there is a really good water source. So that's about 2 kilometers or something from here. I'm not sure. Maybe around 2 kilometers or so from here. So I'm just gonna wait, get my water, my camp water there, probably, even though it's really quite early. But I think I will. I think I'll get camp water there. Right now I'm at 20.5 kilometers in for the day. So if I pick my camp water up there, that'll be about 22.5 kilometers in. And then just keep a steady pace for the rest of the day. Best I know, I'm high up on the escarpment, on the ridge. So 2 things I know about that. There may not be a ton of water available to me, but so that's why I'm collecting water a couple of kilometers up the road where I know there is some. But it means it might not be too hilly. Might be a relatively flat kind of trail for a while. So we'll see about that. Right now, we're just kind of vacating the Kelo Park. This is the trail now, on this kind of little gravel lane or whatever road that exits the park. It blaze to my right through the trees on the tree. And yeah, so that is the plan. So far the rain's hit and miss, quite bright out there right now. We keep getting sprinkles, but we've had no mountable or accountable amount of rain today. So I'm delighted with that so far. Let's see if it holds out till at very least we make camp and see how we go from there. Okay, let's keep moving. Right here, the blaze, the marker, the trail that gives me a right turn. And it welcomes me to the Toronto section of the Bruce Trail. Wow, let me take you out of my chest strap. Sorry about that. So now we have done, let's see, we've done this. And we are now here at the 401. We are now going to do the Toronto section. Woo-wee. Okay. Okay. Well, Toronto section. Here we come. The Iroquois section has had lots of ups and downs. Lots of rocks, lots of roots, lots of challenges, lots of amazing days, and lots of special people. Wow. Toronto section. How are you going to compete with that? Well, let's find out, shall we? As we're now on section 3, Toronto section of our northbound Bruce Trail through hike attempt. Let's get to it. Right ahead of us, the bridge and the water source that I knew about. Okay, this is going to be fine for our water source for sure. So that's okay. So the spigot wasn't working, but it doesn't matter. We'll filter our camp and everything out of here and move on from here. Okay. The trail behind me from where I came today. My camp set up next to a dry stone wall underneath some tall trees. The trail where we're going to go in the morning, bright and early, as we continue our push ever further north. However, I want to show you where I'm going to have my dinner tonight. And when I do that, I'm sure a lot of people will recognize exactly where I am. First of all, there's a parking area here, an off-road parking area. Just go down the trail, just a very, very short way. Now, in the Toronto section, wow, since essentially I got in here earlier today from the 401, it's rocky, a lot of rocks, and depending on the time of day that you kind of get into the Toronto section, well, like me, I had to push and push and push, so I've had a bigger day than I wanted or expected to today, just because there's just a lot of rocks and trying to find a suitable tenting area. There's a water source and a bench, a home. Now there is some really nice grass over there, but you're right next to the road, and I really would rather be a little bit more obscure than right next to the road. However, the bench is going to be perfect for dinner. So I'm going to make my dinner, calculate my miles. I'll let you know what we did today. Talk to you soon. So a little bit of a recap for day 8. We finished off, my knee is starting to bother me a lot. We finished off with 33.0 kilometers on trail today. That leaves me 17 to go tomorrow to reach the Cedar Springs Motel. That is perfect. That's great. I'll do an early start. We'll see what the weather's like. We danced around the rain all day today, but it's got to come, and tomorrow's supposed to be more rain. So, and I got like virtually none today. So, anyhow, 33.0 kilometers today. So we are doing awesome. We are in the third section of the Bruce Trail, and there's 9 altogether. We are in the Toronto section. The Toronto section is a short section. I'll be out of the Toronto section later Wednesday and entering into the Caledon Hills section. pushing pretty much straight north towards kind of my home area, the Blue Mountains, my home. Yeah, so that's nice, and I'll be taking a 0 there, and with a little bit of luck, I should be able to get a couple of days of slack packing in there, which would be really good. That would be nice. And then from Owen Sound pushing up to Tobermory from that point, once I've worked through the Beaver Valley, of course. That's a good one. Yeah, all in all, everything's going fine. The aches and pains, the hip, the knee, okay, yeah, sure. And I am pushing the miles a little bit right now. And I'm going to have to push again on my next leg, which will be from the Cedar Springs Motel to Primrose. Only because if I want to get into Shelburne and get some resupply, I'm doubting that if I'm there on the Monday, that store will, the stores will be open because it's a vacation or a holiday here. And I'm not sure if Shelburne's considered a tourist town or not. However, it's 108 kilometers. I'll leave Wednesday morning, all being well. I should hit Primrose. I'm hoping for Saturday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days. 20, what's that? Is 27 kilometers a day average for those 4 days. I should be able to do that. And after tomorrow, from last time I looked on the weather, which was yesterday, after tomorrow the weather clears up and I'm into sunshine. Can't beat that. Starting to get the bugs. Better get bug spray tomorrow. I have some. Probably enough. We'll see. Maybe get a little bit more. You guys have a great night. So day 8 comes to an end. Day 9 is going to start, but not till tomorrow morning. Have a good night, guys.